Lam, and we hold the little finger pressed against the thumb. Take a deep breath in and let's go. Lam.
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 Now release the mudra and do one last time. Lam. Now bring the awareness 1 inch above the perineum, and there we will do the sound Vam. This is the place behind where we urinate, and we use the mudra, the ring finger pressing the thumb. Take a deep breath in. Vam. 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 Release the mudra and continue. Vam. One last time. Vam. Bring the awareness behind the navel, and here we do the sound Ram. And when we do the sound Ram, we not only draw in at the navel, but also press the middle finger against the thumb. Take a deep breath in.
Ram.
Ram. Ram. Ram.
Ram.
Ram. Ram.
Ram.
Release the mudra and continue.
Ram.
Ram. One last time. Ram. Bring the awareness in between the breasts in the middle of the body, and there we do the sound Yam. And when we do the sound Yam, keep the index finger pressed against the thumb. Take a deep breath in.
Yam.
Yum. Yum.
Yum.
Yum.
Yum.
Yum.
Yum. Yum.
Release the mudra and continue. Yum.
Yum.
One last time. Yum. Now we bring our awareness to the throat, and here we do the sound hum. And in this, we keep the thumbs up mudra. Take a deep breath in.
Hum.
Hum. Hum. Hum. Hum.
Hum.
Hum.
Hum. Hum.
Hum. Hum.
Hum.
Hum.
Hum.
Release the mudra and continue one more time. Hum. Now we bring our awareness to the middle of the head. We do the sound chum. Take a deep breath in. Chum. Oh, again the mudra thumbs up. Chum. Chum. Release. Chum. Top of the head we do Om. Again mudra thumbs up. Release the mudra and continue. One last time.
Dr. Rajan,
Yes,
is it common to have sensation of forehead during chakra vibrations?
sure.
I got a lot of vibration on my forehead.
All good for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So now we go on to our Ujjayi Pranayama. So this is the happy face breathing. So those of you who know, please continue. And those of you who are new, close your eyes and observe your throat. It feels normal. Now, with the eyes closed, continue to observe the throat as you make a big smile. And as you make a big smile, observe how the throat changes slightly, very, very slight stretch you feel in the throat. And observe, just keeping your focus on the throat. Inhale and exhale very slowly. As you inhale, it feels like the air is rubbing along the throat as it is going into the lungs. And exhale, you feel it's rubbing along as it's coming out. So just keep observing there. To show you how slowly to breathe, I'm going to do a demo here. I'm going to inhale. Continue. We are doing the Ujjayi Pranayama. If anybody came late, the happy face breathing. Now, let's go over to the silent mantra, lifting from the sternum and going up to the top of the head. Think of it as a straight line and just follow the vibration along the line. And the vibration, the mantra is Haim Im 3 syllables. Haim Im You don't say it verbally, unlike the chakra vibration. You simply mentally feel the vibration flowing up from the sternum up to the top of the head. So continue. Now let's go on to our neck exercises, which is the first of the spinal alignment exercises. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring one ear towards the shoulder. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, go towards the other shoulder. Inhale, come back up, and continue. Now, as you inhale and come back, we turn the head as if looking over one shoulder as you exhale. Inhale, come back to the starting position. Exhale, look over the other shoulder. Inhale, come back and continue. Okay, now as you inhale, take the head back. Exhale, chin towards the chest. As you exhale and bring your chin towards the chest, now we will rotate 360 degrees. Inhale, half a circle, and exhale, complete the other half. And continue. Now go in the opposite direction. Okay, now let's go on to the shoulder exercise. Inhale, lift up one shoulder, exhale, rotate it back and bring it down. Inhale, lift up the other shoulder, rotate it back and bring it down as you exhale. Okay, now let's go on to the hand exercises. Inhale, lift up the palms perpendicular to the forearm and stretch out the fingers. Exhale, thumb in and downward facing fist. Inhale and exhale. Okay. Now, with the fist closed, inhale and exhale and rotate around the fist. Let's go in the opposite direction. Now, elbows in line with the shoulders, open out the fingers and rotate around the wrist, the palm, the fingers, the elbows. Inhale and exhale. Now let's go backward. Inhale and exhale. Oh. Now interlock the hands and bring it behind the head. As you exhale, turn to one side. Inhale, come back. Exhale the other way. Inhale, come back, and continue. Okay. Now we will do both our shoulders together. Inhale, lift up both the shoulders. Exhale, rotate and bring it back. Continue. Keep the eyes closed throughout these exercises so that you can focus both on the breath as well as the sensations you feel in the body. Inhale, lift up the shoulders. Exhale, rotate it back and bring it down, and continue. Now raise your hands up, and as you exhale, cross your hands over the opposite shoulder and take the other hand behind and turn. Inhale, come back. Exhale the other way. Excellent. Now we'll do something different today. As you're sitting down, I want you to keep your hand behind your, just above your hip, with the fingers facing down, like that. So keep the hands there. And as you inhale, not exhale, as you inhale, push on the left hand and kind of arch backward, and exhale and come back. Inhale, push and arch the rightward, and exhale and come back, and continue. Okay. Now cross one leg over the other, and the knee that is on the top, get hold of it with your interlocked hands. And as you lift it up and pull it across, just turn your head in the same direction as the knee you're holding. Inhale, release, and exhale, pull and turn. Now let's cross the other leg. Pull on it and turn. Exhale, pull and turn. Okay. Now we will do our leg exercises. We will do the cycling. Inhale, lift up the leg. Exhale, stretch it out and bring it down. Let's continue. Second. 3, the third breath. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now the other leg. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, point out your fingers, your toes, and bring it down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Now we are ready for our Bhastrika Pranayam. But before I do that, just for 1 minute, I want to do alternate nostril breathing. Inhale from the left nostril. Feel the vibration of it going along the right side and lodging in the top of the head. And as you exhale from the other nostril, feel it come around that way and go that way. And then inhale, feel the vibration go here, exhale the other way. So please continue, just for 1 minute. Okay, now we can get ready for Bhastrika Pranayama. Is Suma in today? Okay, never mind. So I will lead the Bhastrika Pranayama. So we can do it in one of two ways. For those of you who are new to it, first thing is to understand the three parts of the lungs and the resilience of the diaphragm. When you inhale the lowermost part of the lungs, when it breathes, it pushes out the abdominal area. When the middle part of the lung breathes, it expands the chest. And when the upper part of the lung breathes, it lifts up or pulls back the shoulders. When we breathe with all three together, we do in sequence. Inhale and exhale. Now, the same thing we can do, instead of keeping the hands down, we can do it with a loose fist, keeping it by the side, elbows by the side of the chest. As we inhale, we feel the abdominal area come out, 1 second. And as you continue to inhale, you lift up the elbows as the chest expands. And as the upper lung breathes, the shoulder pulls back and you open out the palms. And when you exhale, you close the fist and slowly exhale, come down. Exhalation is usually longer than inhalation. Before we begin, Ravinderji, you had a question.
Yes, is there a sequence in the exhalation or in emptying the lung? Like, you know,
There is in Bhastrika Pranayam, we don't worry about that too much, because when you inhale full, you also exhale full, right?
yes.
So in Bhastrika Pranayam, we usually begin with inhalation. Okay.
Thank you.
So loose fist. Let's go. 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 30. Exhale. 40. Exhale. 50. Exhale. 60. Exhale. 70. Exhale. 80. Exhale. 90. Exhale. 20. Exhale. Bring the hands down, keep the eyes closed. Observe the sensations in the head. Follow as the sensations slowly begin to dissipate downwards. Okay, let's go on to the second round, loose fist. Let's go. 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 30. Exhale. 40. Exhale. 50. Exhale. 60. Exhale. 70. Exhale. 80. Exhale. 90. Exhale. 20. Exhale. Eyes closed. Relax. Feel the sensations within the head and observe how it slowly dissipates. It is 6:27. We will now go on to meditation for about 3 minutes. And usually I find people start leaving about now, some people. So just an announcement. The first announcement is that if you are coming regularly and you enjoy this practice, please express your thoughts to your friends who can come and join us. We still have a lot of space in here. The second announcement is those of you who may be aware of Ekal Vidyalaya. Tomorrow they have an online program, and if you wish to join in there, you can, connect with them. Is by any chance Shashi Srivastavji or Ashwin Sabu over here? No. Okay, that's fine.
Amit
Now-
Kumar is here.
Who is there?
and Amit Kumar.
Amit
Okay.
is here.
If you want to make an announcement about Ekal Vidyalaya, you can.
Okay.
He actually just shared the link, by the way.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, I had a slide which is not here, 2 slides, but that's okay.
Let's finish the meditation, and then after that you can show the slide.
Yeah.
So mentally tell yourself, I let go of all the ideas and concepts and I care about nothing. And look upward mentally, even though the eyes are closed, and use your personal mantra. And if you don't have one, watch your breath and hear the Om in the background. Mentally tell yourself, may I be guided to fulfill the purpose for which I am born. And with that as the thought, lift up your palms 6 inches in front of your face. Look straight into the palm of your hands when you open your eyes. So with that, Amit ji, please go ahead and make the announcement. If you want to show any slide, go ahead.
I'll quickly share. I think people can see it. So thank you everyone, and thank you Narayan ji for supporting Ekal and Balmukund ji. So Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation is a non-profit organization which is helping rural India with lot of different programs. The main program was One Teacher, One School, and it is going to tribal areas. So right now we have 1 lakh school with 2.7 million students studying there. And this is all supported by the people in US and different part of the world. So every year we do a fundraising. So we bring some artists from India to perform here and tell about the ACL and raise the money. So this year it is all virtual. So we have a program tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. and there is a link at www.acre.org DC 2020. You can go there, and it is 2.5 hour program where they will be performing live from Bombay studio. So you enjoy the program and support ACL as much as you can. Thank you so much. That's all I want to say.
So thank you. So is there anybody who is new who would like to introduce themselves, or any questions first? Anybody new?
Hello, this is Lata Marin. We are from Tampa. My husband and I have joined.
Oh, wonderful. Welcome. Can we see you?
Let me try. Just give me a second. Yes.
Namaste. Wonderful.
And this is my husband.
Namaste.
Namaste. Have we met before?
No.
I don't believe so. Where are you from?
I'm from the Maryland, Washington, D.C. area, but I have visited Tampa on many, many occasions.
Okay.
I don't know whether you may know, in Tampa, there is a Dr. Venkat Iyer.
No, we don't know. We are very new. We're relatively new in Tampa. So
Okay, that's fine. So that's fine. Okay, thank you. Anybody else new? Introduce yourself.
Hello.
Okay. Oh, you are both introduced too, Jaya and Sundar.
Yeah.
Yes, but we are starting with the East Coast. I know I'm familiar on the West Coast side,
Uh-huh.
but I want to say hello to this group, everyone in this group.
Thank you, Jay and Sundar. The Tampa group is coming together. Jay Panchal, you would like to introduce yourself? Yes, go ahead.
We are, me and my wife Jay and Tanuja Panchal. We are from Houston. We are attending your classes for like 8 to 10 days, and we feel good.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So any questions, comments?
Mansukh Kothadia ji wants to say something.
Yes, go ahead.
I am Vilas Kothadia. Mansukh is my husband. We both are doing this exercise and we loved it. And especially I had head issues since 2013. Now that is coming back, but not bad like it was. And my mom, she loved this exercise. And she's 88 years old, and she joined with us too.
Namaste ji. Thank you.
Namaste, yeah. Okay, so we like this program and everything. Thank you for this.
Such a pleasure. By the way, our program is largely, focused on deep relaxation of the body and mind. And I've explained on different occasions how when we do the chakra vibrations, it's really meant for the higher level of stress, and everything we do in the physical and breathing side for the lower level of stress. So it is really a stress management routine. However, for a full healthy routine, you need other forms of exercises, okay? So if you are doing any walking or jogging, or stair climbing, or any other kinds of exercises that you're doing, all of those are good too. Don't skip on them if that's part of your routine. We are doing this in the evening hours as a way of, stress reduction. But in the morning hours, if you're doing walking or something, or if you have a schedule of doing 3 times a week or 4 times a week, please do all of them. It is very important for your good health. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Are you planning to teach any Surya Namaskaram kind of things, like bending exercises?
See, the thing is, in this forum, as you can see, the people and what we are focused on, it is not as easy to do it. Okay. We will
Right,
need
okay.
yoga mats and we will need to stretch out and things. But if you can do Surya Namaskar on your own every day in the morning, do 12 Surya Namaskar, that becomes your, what I call as the, bone strengthening, muscle strengthening exercise, and follow that with about 3 rounds of Bhastrika. Maybe before that, some Kapal Bhati or so. That will become a good supplement to what you're doing over here.
Okay, thank you for his suggestion, sir.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And what is your name?
My name is Sindhu,
Where are you from?
Virginia.
Virginia. Wonderful. So it shows here as daily online yoga, so we don't see you. So if you want to show your photograph or picture, just open up the video.
Yeah,
Then
sure.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay, good. Okay.
Narayanji, I have one comment, and of course, this is a big, nice yoga family. But remember, about a month ago, you selected some people from here. Their breathing problems, and it's almost a month. Do we have any follow-up how they've done, please?
Yes, actually, I only implemented it for 3 people.
Okay.
Because the reason I implemented it for 3 people is because when I looked at the overall history of where they were, I didn't think, everybody didn't respond. I wanted a history to understand whether this is a place where the pre-post effect will be helpful. And so I have something, and I will connect with you separately on that, or I will put all the data together and come back. There is only one person who actually has been keeping consistent records and follows up with me. I'm not sure whether she's here. Is Urmila Sondi over here? Urmila ji, are you here? If she is here, I will have her speak for herself.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Oh, okay. So you have been doing that Jaime Mum exercise all these days, right?
Yes, I got only 2 more days left. Saturday and Sunday. Yes.
And how are you feeling? Is there any change? Dr. Parekh is asking.
I feel pretty good. I couldn't really tell you how good it is, but I feel a lot better. And my acid reflux is not there. I'm breathing better. I'm sleeping better. And I don't know what else to say. I feel good. And I think I still have little problem in breathing. Sometimes I feel it while I'm talking to somebody. After about 15 minutes, I start coughing. So I don't know why that is.
Now, I don't remember your, health history, but were you on any medication for breathing?
No, sir. I think I have wheat problem. I just found out because since I stopped eating roti, I think I wrote to you about it. I feel much better. I don't know. And I had a breast cancer. So they say I didn't have a chemotherapy, but I had the radiation. That enlarged, that was a side effect of radiation. My right lung became a little bigger. So they think, the doctors think maybe I'm coughing because of the little enlargement of the lung. But besides that, I'm good. I'm really good.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Actually,
Hello, doctor. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Dhiren here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I joined about months back, and I told you because of my scariness or something else. Little bit, I had some kind of like breathing. I told you initially, but after doing this one now, I think I'm so comfortable. Even it improves more than 90%. So I feel that there is no problem at all for me at all. Something like that,
Were you on any medication for breathing before?
No, nothing.
Okay, that's fine.
No,
Actually,
so I don't take any medicine because of the scariness or something health is, and because of this situation. So sometimes I feel that breathing, but after doing this yoga with you for almost about a month or something like that, I think it's almost gone, something like that,
Yeah. So Kiranji, the real measure over here is it has this practice has a strong psychosomatic impact. And that seems to help. I tried to, in the intake form, I tried to keep a record or to see, you know, when we see if there is a change in the or reduction in medication use and things, those are a little more significant that we can look at. And so I don't remember in this particular case, but there is one case which we are looking at very carefully. And that one case is the case where there is somebody with pulmonary fibrosis. Okay. And the very interesting part in this case was, it was identified with imaging September of last year. Whereas we began this practice only from May 31st. Okay. So we have about 4 or 5 weeks of record. And what this person is a highly disciplined person. So this person does it twice a day practice. But what the person does is every day in the morning when he gets up, he gets the pulse oximeter reading. And then about 9 in the morning, he does the practice. So before he begins the practice, he again takes the pulse oximeter reading. And after the practice, he again takes the pulse oximeter reading. Then same thing in the afternoon, before and after. So we have all these pulse oximeters reading, okay? And what is amazing is, over the past 1 month, the oxygen saturation has increased by about 2%.
Good.
Yes, but what is even more significant is that previously he used to have difficulty when he's climbing stairs, the shortness of breath. Now all of that is gone.
Wow.
That's very nice.
Amazing.
And so we are still waiting. What our sense is that between his last imaging is from September of last year. So between September and May, he deteriorated further. So I have suggested that for the next 6 months or so, there is no need to do any imaging or something, but just keeping these records and going along. And so this way, maybe sometime early next year, an imaging can be done to see what changes have happened. But in the meantime, the pulse oximeter reading is highly objective information.
And in these kind of cases, even if your imaging doesn't change, their functional capacity, that's called FRC, has increased. And this 2% increase of the saturation is very significant. It could have been 10% down, but now it is 2% up.
Yes.
So this mantra is really working. And we brought this up here because other people can get some encouragement and, follow this practice too.
Yes.
Thank you. You're doing an excellent job, Rajanji.
Dr. Narayan, I have severe allergy, head allergy. I mean, the summertime, I couldn't go for a walk, because of the pollen. But after this practice, I don't have any issue at all, because otherwise at night I would be so miserable too.
See, what happens is, in this zone, it also improves the immune system, our ability to take it. Right. So it is essentially, when we are in this deep relaxation, think of it, we are targeting the 2 zones of stress, as I've explained before, right? Between the causal body and the subtle body, as well as between the subtle body and the gross body. So since we are targeting with these exercises the 2 zones of stress, it helps to improve the receptivity of the immune system. So this way, it is very interesting for me. There is one person, we actually use some mantras over here which are specifically targeted for the immune system. One among that, I tested with one person who was diabetic. And we have found that any mantra that is used for the immune system has to be used with great care. You cannot overuse it. You can understand that even from modern medicine system, if you try to interfere with the immune system, it has to be done with very great care not to overdo it, right? So we were watching with this mantra very carefully. So this person was doing it for about 3 weeks. And the diabetic numbers, the sugar numbers, what the person had not seen before, postprandial reading came between 130 to 160, whereas early it's like normal. Whereas earlier the numbers used to range at least 20 to 30 points higher. Then what happened was, when I told this person, be careful not to overuse it, only do as much as you can, the person became afraid and stopped doing it for 1 week. And that 1 week after that, when the person stopped, it went up back to 180 and 200.
Wow.
And so this was only a miscommunication. I simply cautioned the person not to overdo, and it was a miscommunication over there. So you can see how this thing. So it was very interesting for me. So as we work a little more about it, more things will come out of this as we go along.
Great. Thank you.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So shall we go on to the Yoga Sutras? We have only 12 minutes more. And any case, we will probably not finish chapter 3 today, but we are in no hurry. Any other more pending questions from anyone? Okay.
There is a related question I saw in the chat.
Okay.
You can read it before we start.
Okay. Okay. One thing, the good part is I saw one question coming through from Hari Ramanathan about the Toronto group. Hari Ramanathan, if you're here, I will connect you with Maithili Charan Kumar and Gloria Remedios. And so the 4 of you together can be part of the group. So, yes.
Yeah, the question is from Tara Narsimhan. Is Swadharma created by Prarabdha Karma? That's something.
Is Swadharma governed by Prarabdha Karma? Yes. Actually, that is correct. But we have to remember something. When we say Prarabdha, the concept of karma and kleshas are finely defined in the Yoga Sutras. This degree of definitional clarity is not there in other Vedantic literature. Okay? So the concept being when the first creation took place and your soul was created, at that point in time, the program that was assigned to you is called klesha, and sometimes in the tantric literature, it is also called mula prakriti, actually the mula klesha. Then after that, when through your reactivity you accumulate new karmas, so both of them bundled together become the karma klesha that exists at any point in time. And when we say prarabdha, prarabdha includes both of them. Now, when prarabdha includes both of them, any karmas that you have created, you could eliminate them. But the klesha element, you cannot eliminate them. There is a distinction. Tara Narasimhan, is that okay? You have a question to follow up on that?
Yeah, well, the thing is, prarabdha includes the klesha. Klesha is something that we are inborn with, that it cannot change.
That is correct. Actually, that is the first creation. You see, if you think in terms of all of the cosmos, when in the first creation that came in was the master program, and that distributed the program to many, many small computing entities, and each one of us is one of them. So each soul is assigned one element, one part of it. So that is why there is variety and difference among people. Now, so that klesha element cannot be taken away.
Okay, one more clarification. When you say swadharma, it is just the way that you want to have your focus, maybe your career. Is that all built in swadharma definition?
Actually, when we talk about swadharma, it governs every aspect of your life. It is not only your career and anything else. It is, there are 3 roles we all have in life. One role we have in life is for our individual and our individual relationships. Second we have is our role in society. And the third is we have a role in our spiritual impact of our life. Now, to understand this, we have to understand our Vedic astrology in a more insightful way. For instance, when you look at the Vedic astrology chart, the 12 houses, the first 4 houses are called Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha houses, but in the personal domain. The next 4 houses, 5 to 8, are called Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha houses in the societal domain. And the last 4 houses, 9, 10, 11, 12, are called the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha houses in the spiritual domain. Now, what happens is, there is in common astrological analysis, they will go on and say that if your second house is strong, then you will have a lot of money, a lot of income. Okay? But in the second house, when they say it is you're strong, it is the Artha house in the personal domain. By the same token, they will say the 10th house is the house of your occupation. And this is the Dharma Artha house in the spiritual domain. When you think in terms of people who are in high positions, whether a president of a company or very influential person in society, their role is actually in the whatever they are doing is having a big impact on the spiritual, the cosmic flow. Okay, so in other words, the reason I'm pointing out, parsing this out, is our Swadharma lies in all these 3 zones: the personal zone, the societal zone, as well as in the spiritual zone that affects the cosmic flow. All of that is part of our Swadharma.
Much clearer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dr. Rajan?
Yes.
So then when a soul is born for the first time with the kleshas, do they just randomly assign the Swadharma?
Yes. Srijit, we don't need the Yoga Sutra today. I think the discussion from yesterday is continuing. So the part is yes. The thing is, you see, just as in order for a program to fulfill itself, it just takes care of it wherever it needs to go. Now, it is very interesting. In the 4th chapter of the Yoga Sutra, this is not the first creation. In the first creation, the 4th chapter of the Yoga Sutra mentions the first creation happens because of Asmita of Ishvara, of God. What is Asmita? It means I exist. And here, in order to understand this, we have to understand parallels from the various philosophies associated with Sanatana Dharma. And one very interesting way in which this is portrayed in the philosophy of Kashmir Shaivism. In Kashmir Shaivism, they say, for God, creation is like going in front of a mirror. Okay? So you see what happens is, if, often when an artist creates something, right? They identify their expression with the art that they have created, right? So the thing is, so you can think of God like an artist, and the artist has made this first creation. And so this is how the Kashmir Shaivism explains. For God, it's like the creation is the expression of the Lord, okay? And so the first creation is only the master program. And what is the master program or the first creation called? Any creation is called a kriti, a kriti. So it is called prakriti, prakrishta kriti. In other words, the creation that is cosmically and spiritually connected, that is the first creation, prakriti. And that prakriti is the first program. And any program, in order to function, needs to have both matter and energy. And as you know, from the scientific understanding today, we know that matter is only compressed energy.
Yes.
They are 2 sides of the same coin. Okay? So the thing is, you see, the first energy that is created is the one that in order for it to fulfill its program, it creates many, many small entities, and each one imbued with their own program. And when we go to chapter 4, it will say that the Eka Chitta, the first Chitta that is created, it becomes Anekesham. Eka Chitta Anekesham. It becomes many, many, many small Chittas in order to fulfill its the purpose of creation, right? So our understanding is, yes, it is random. There is no name written over there called Avani when the first creation took place, and no name written with any one of our names. It is just from the cosmic purpose, different roles are needed, you assign them.
So
Right?
he just assigned different statures, different colors, different attributes, just randomly.
Yeah, but remember, at any point in life, it is all a question. We are not truly just with the kleshas. We are a mix of karma kleshas.
Right,
Because
but say for
lifetime, whatever karmas you have created, right?
Right, but see, so if someone's born with gifts of, whichever, like a big, great gift, let's say Lata Mangeshkar, she was born with this phenomenal voice. So it was just a random attribute. I mean, we are talking about klesha. So when they were first assigned certain gifts, it was just randomly assigned.
Okay. I cannot answer the, let's see. Okay, I cannot answer that question with the degree of specificity you want, because the ability to sing, that talent, may not have come from the first creation. Okay, it could have happened in a earlier creation where that soul of Lata Mangeshkar could have found a deep interest in music, and that memory of that music came on to this into this lifetime. Okay, I will give you for one instance. You see, what happens is I grew up I was born in Mumbai, grew up in Kolkata. So the thing is, we have visited Kerala a few times because of our ancestry and all of that. But on the other hand, we speak Tamil at home. So the thing is, I had very little exposure to Malayalam. Okay. And what is very interesting is when I was in going back about almost 20 years back, 20 years back, there was a Malayali priest, a Nambudiri, who used to be in this temple over here in Shiva Vishnu Temple in Washington. So we became very good friends, and he would speak mostly in Malayalam. And what happened was, I found that I could converse with him in Malayalam too. And the most shocking experience I ever had was, there was a Malayali association that was locally over here. And one time they asked me to come and speak on yoga. So I thought I'll go there and speak in English. And I found speaker after speaker, they were all speaking in Malayalam. And I shocked myself in giving a speech in Malayalam on yoga over there. Okay, I don't know how I spoke, but I get this thing. So what happened is, now where did this come from? Okay, and really the place where it came from is, since I know my previous lifetime, in my previous lifetime, I was a Malayali. Okay, and so the thing is, so whatever that was the case, that stayed with me, it was easy to pick up. So you cannot say that was kind of the original klesha. It could be what is called vasana that comes from a previous lifetime. Okay, so we have crossed the time over here. So we will close over here, and tomorrow.
So when they say Srishti is Anadi, is that not true?
Well, when they say Srishti is Anadi, you see, we need to understand these, how, in what context people say. They will say there is a creation and a dissolution, right? When a dissolution takes place, the next creation also has a beginning, right? But if you think in terms of a constant process of creation and dissolution going on, you can call it as Anadi. And the thing is, another way in which to understand this, you see, there are two words that are used together. One word which is used is called, they will say the Vedas or the cosmic knowledge is Apaurushaya. And then they will say it is Anadi. Okay? What is the meaning of Apaurushaya? You see, somebody experienced it, and wrote it down. But that experience came from the prajna process that we are talking about in yoga, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. That is how the people received the Vedas, and that's how it got written down, right? So the thing is, you see, if you look at it from that perspective, the real Vedic knowledge, the person who first got that knowledge was only a receiver. The cosmos is the originator, right? So that way you can call it as Apaurusheya. But on the other hand, if you're looking at it from a worldly perspective, you will call Apaurusheya means anonymous. Okay, so the thing is, you see, because what happens is, if you look at the Vedic knowledge, so many people have written, they don't, whoever, all the place they have combined with, right? So it is all a question of how you look at it from which perspective, right?
So you go back to the same one chitta, everybody goes back to one chitta and then gets recreated?
No. Actually, what happens is that we need to go into the next chapter, and the final status of the soul when the rebirth is no longer there is one of two. In the Yoga Sutra is the one which actually gives you the Sanatana Dharma philosophy, where you will see every religious experience is validated. The first view is that if everything dissolves except your connection with God, then you stay as a Chanaprati yogi. That is the term used in yoga. At every moment you are connected with God. And so when you leave the body, that soul doesn't disappear, but it stays connected and stays with God. So from a Christian sense, you can call it heaven. From a Vishishta Advaita sense, or a Dvaita philosophy of Hinduism, you can call it as in the Sri Vaishnava system, they call it as Nitya Suri. That is, you're always, connected with God. Now the other side is, if you're not always connected, but all your programs have gone, then in which case even the soul is only a programmed entity. That too has no basis. It gets completely demagnetized and it becomes one with the cosmic energy. And that is said to be as Chitta Shaktiye Va. In other words, or it gets merged into the Shakti or the energy of the cosmic Chitta. So both these, both are given in the Yoga Sutras. In other words, think of it. There is no more argument. If one religion says this, you say, yes, that is true. The other religion says the other, you say that's also true. Yoga Sutra validates both. Okay, so we'll end over here. We are already.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Session.
Keep it simple.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Rajan.
Thank you, Dr. Rajan.
Thank you, Dr. Rajan. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Valmukund. Thank you,
Bye.
Dr. Rajan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye.
Wait, Balmukund.
Yes. Who's
And
that?
Shriti, both, can we have one such session every week for these kind of question and answers?
Talk to Dr. Rajan.
Because,
All you have to do.
so
all
many
you have to do-
questions, one answer leads into another, and you cannot even,
Yes.
you know,
we should have
it's not
these,
enough. It's just not
yes,
enough.
we should have these
So-
clarification sessions.
Maybe one day we can have for clarification, one after 6:30.
I think after every chapter.
Yes, that's actually after
And
few.
actually, now we are fairly advanced in the Yoga Sutras. Now every shloka, there's gonna be people are gonna huddle in and ask their doubts and questions, because now it has become life's purpose kind of things that are going on, and it's only gonna get intense from here.
Yes, and
So-
actually from second chapter, like, I think 2.32 was one of them, because I've got this whole list of questions, but I wanted to wait, but you kind of lose the link if you wait. So it would be a good idea.
We should not wait. So the most important thing we can do is that in the beginning of the Yoga Sutra session, we should just one of us should just ask a question, and that prompts everybody else to ask a question. So people can just keep asking their question, just like it happened today.
Right. So,
Right.
but again, but
Because
that's
Dr. Rajan doesn't come in prepared, because Dr. Rajan
No.
never comes prepared. So he's okay just answering questions.
he doesn't need to prepare, correct. But the question is that we have 10 minutes, people want to ask about their ailments, and that takes 15 minutes. So that leaves us only 15, 20 minutes for these Q&As, and that's not enough.
We had allocated 30 minutes for question and answers, right? And these were not meant for personal ailments. These were questions about yoga, about our daily practice. And now we have Yoga Sutra. And that was the whole idea in my head, that there's so much to know about yoga, and people are asking these basic questions about this practice and how it's impacting them. Whereas there's so many deep things about yoga, and that will come to the fore and people will ask those questions.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of these questions that they ask are already repetitions. They've already been answered.
It'll
But
always happen. It'll always happen. It's okay.
Which is fine. But
these
that's what I'm
sessions are
saying is
just
it's very
endless.
little time for us for the Q&As. It's just not enough.
Life is still going to be here a year from now. We are pretty sure Dr. Rajan is going to be here for a year. That leaves us another 365 days. So
But I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow or not. So
we are all going to be here. And so it's fine.
and then again, Swadharma, it's better to get it now
by
than
then,
30 years later. You see?
by then Srijit will also be available to answer questions.
No, I heard
Actually, Srijit is already ready to answer questions. He's just shying away.
I heard Yoga Sutras 4 years back. That time it was all over the head. Little bit of understanding of what Yoga Sutra is. So,
A lot of it is bouncing out from my head as well.
No, but
Right now.
it's great. And once these are done, we should start again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this will continue. This will continue, and we'll continuously have it. This half an hour of sheer beauty of how Patanjali Yoga Sutras were written and how it has been interpreted. All those things. See, you can read all this in a book, right? But you're not gonna get the same analysis the way we are having it here in the class. So this is great opportunity to learn that.
And I've heard other people, non-Indians who have really great motivational speakers and everybody who have read the Yoga Sutras and they carry these with them.
Yeah.
And it's amazing years back how much of the essence of life is in that Yoga Sutra. So earlier we know our Swadharma, better it is rather than 30 years later. That's all I'm saying.
This is what Dr. Rajan said. Rameshji, yes, sir. Go ahead.
No, I was thinking since yesterday that it may be really a good idea to request Rajanji to just talk on the various facets of Swadharma, because Swadharma is so very essential to understand oneself. One's purpose in life.
Yep, absolutely.
No, so it really becomes a key to fulfill your life's mission as cosmos or God intended it to be.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
So I have been thinking since yesterday.
Yeah.
So
there's so many facets. He brought the astrology facet, and he said the first 4 houses and the next 4 houses and the next 4 houses, right? House number 1 to 4, and then 5 to 8, and then 9 to 12. I have been learning Jyotish for 4 years, and I have been trying to analyze my Kundali and myself, that which one of my motivations come from which aspect of which planet in which house and all those things. And it's only now that I understand a lot of my motivations. And yesterday's answer was because I knew my Kundali. I was very confused after what Dr. Rajan said. And my wife interpreted it very differently. I interpreted it very differently. But then I went back and I thought about it, and I realized what Dr. Rajan said was only part of my Swadharma. And I told Jasmine that, look, whatever Rameshji said afterwards is actually the complete answer to what I should have heard, because Rameshji has lived his life up to the age of 75, and he has done all these things, and all these things have been his Swadharma. Not just one of those. And there are so many facets to this Swadharma. And so knowing ourselves gives us such peace of mind and
So-
belief in ourselves.
So, but somehow, you know, if somebody's off the trajectory of Swadharma, right? How do you get back on it, Rameshji?
See, I mean, first of all, how do you find out that you're off the track?
Of the trajectory. Yeah, true. But I guess, you know, when someone is facing obstacles, let's, you know, whoever that person can be, right? If that person is not, missions don't get fulfilled, or if they face obstacles or some or the other hinderment to life's
Let's
progress
just stop here.
happens.
Let's just stop here. Let's just stop here. So I'll ask, we'll go piece by piece. So this by itself is a very important question, Rameshji. I'll ask. So let's say something is somebody's Swadharma, right? Let's say entrepreneurship is somebody's Swadharma, right? But entrepreneurship by its very nature, because it's new thing, it is difficult and failures are bound to happen, right? So then if somebody fails at entrepreneurship, or if somebody is a researcher, so if somebody's Swadharma is to do science research, and science research by itself is very difficult. Somebody's Swadharma was to make a COVID vaccine, but it's a 4-year-long process, and it's filled with all failures in between. You go hit and trial and things like that. How do you know that you're doing something and you're failing at it and it's still your Swadharma to do it, or this is not your Swadharma?
You know, see, that's, I mean, there are a lot of these things. I got to narrate you incidents in my life.
Yeah.
You know, it's very related to what you're talking about. See, when I started the business and I failed in, I had another business, I totally failed in it. We had to close it down and things of that nature. You know, and then I've been very seriously thinking, why am I doing this? My needs are very simple. My wife is also, she really doesn't have any
demands.
We really don't need a whole lot to live life. Why do I really toil all this and do all this? You know, what is the purpose in carrying this stress of entrepreneurship and, you know, all that? So the thought was really weighing on my mind. And I'm talking about sometimes in 80s, you know, when our business was in a very, really going through a rough patch, you know. So, and one day I used to get this weekly magazine from India by Air, Organizer. And, you know, one day I just open it up in the morning. I remember very distinctly this. You know, I sit on my dining table and I start just reading, and I came across an article, you know, by H.V. Seshadri, who used to be those days the General Secretary of RSS in India. And I knew him. Okay. So I started reading, and he said, the purpose of life is do the most, utilize all the resources what God has given to you. And by resources means whether it is not just only material resources, but your skills, talent, everything, whatever you have. You know, utilize all of that to the fullest extent. But don't claim the fruits of it to be your own. Don't claim the ownership of the fruits. Consider yourself to be a custodian, as a trustee of what you get out of it. Suppose if you are a writer, or if you are a poet, or you are a politician, or whatever, you know, and you get a lot of fame, or you get a lot of money, or whatever you get, consider yourself to be a trustee of it, and keep what you need for yourself and your loved ones and consider the rest of to be the property of the society. Now, that morning I must have been in a receiving mode, So I said, well, this answers my question. Question is not whether I should really do business or not. God has given me some talents, okay? Some business talent. Utilize to the fullest extent I can, okay? And it also answered my question, whatever I get, what do I do with it? So it's not a question of what I need. It's a question of really utilizing the resources or the talent you have, but don't.
How did you know that that is your Swadharma? You could be being a business person. You had talents, great. But how do you know that that is your Swadharma?
No, that is a very difficult one, because, and I think we really need to dwell on this with Dr. Rajan, is there are a lot of things happen in life, and we really don't know how and why they happen. Okay, but there are things, you feel like a soul satisfaction. For example, say if somebody comes to you and you are able to counsel them or help them or in whichever way, or say someone, for example, I'll give my own this thing, that when I got cured of my chronic fatigue with Dr. Rajan, it kind of became a sort of a passion for me, that, well, why should I only get benefited? Why not really? So whosoever I knew of who had any kind of problems or something, I referred them to Dr. Rajan, but not necessarily everyone followed that. Okay, some people did, and quite a few got benefited. Some people, they couldn't or they didn't. Okay, and so I asked Dr. Rajan why it is so. So he said to me that, look, again, it has to mean for them. Means that only if the cosmos wanted them to get benefited, they have to do their purushartha, whatever he suggests, they have to do it.
Right.
But if the cosmos, if it is not really meant to be, they will not stay with that practice, or they will give it up, or things of that nature. So even to stay with it requires I guess prarabdha or your karma kleshas, So it all, see, everything like he was mentioning today, he was not mentioning only klesha, he mentioned karma and klesha both. That your Swadharma is really formed by your karma and kleshas. It's a very, very deep subject, and I think we really need to, and that's why I brought up this thing, that it probably is a very good idea to have him spend like a week, on just talk about Swadharma. Yeah,
Yes.
because it is
because your Swadharma tells you get satisfaction in, let's say, helping people, but how do you then earn enough money to make a living? So
My question yesterday.
so Swadharma is a very,
or even better, I want a different standard of living and I'm okay with it. My wife has a different expectations out of me, right? And she's very clear about it. I married you for the promise in you. You're not fulfilling it. right? You know, what is a man supposed to do? You know, he cannot give up his entrepreneurial ambitions just to, you know,
Mukunji, work harder.
go and help people. Huh?
Work harder.
Work harder, exactly. No, I actually did work hard and then I got sick. See, the whole chronic fatigue syndrome thing happened because I worked too hard.
Overdoing it.
Yeah, I was overdoing it and I was chasing success like
So-
crazy.
Taking his example, taking your example, now
Yeah.
you have to go around looking for your Swadharma, right?
Yes, and so Dr. Rajan said, so this is very interesting. Yesterday, Dr. Rajan said that it is your Swadharma is actually, because he understands me so much. He's like, it's in helping people. You have to do, your Swadharma is in making a great societal contribution. He said something like that. And it is true. It has been my ambition, or it has been my purpose in life, or it has always been at the back of my mind. I always think at that social contribution level. But I have other things also that that I want to build an organization that lasts beyond my lifetime, which continues to make contributions, which innovates, which invents new technologies that help society, right? So even in my entrepreneurial effort, I am thinking, you know, for the societal contributions, but it has to be a money-making enterprise.
Yes.
Right. And so I thought about it yesterday. That so does that mean that, you know, I'm actually not supposed to be an entrepreneur? I'm just, or am I just supposed to be a social entrepreneur or something like that? And I said, you know, there were so many moments in my life that I should have closed down this company, including, you know, the 6 months of chronic fatigue syndrome last year, or even now after COVID. But I never feel like closing down this company. Every time that thought comes, I'm like, no, you know what? It'll figure itself out. You know, I just have to keep going. And so I don't know whether it's my Swadharma to run this company or be an entrepreneur or not, but, you know,
As long as you're not putting in money in that company and it's running itself, you have that option. But if you end up putting money in that entrepreneurship, obviously, and then if you're not making money, but you keep on putting out of pocket, so that kind of, it's contradictory in what your Swadharma is.
So I am confused whether it's my sunken cost bias. I was confused yesterday whether
No,
it's
I
my
think-
sunken cost bias that doesn't let me shut down this company, or whether it's actually my Swadharma to keep running, and this is just an obstacle that is inevitable in building any company that or anything meaningful that you have to do.
See, it's very difficult to say, Avniji, you know, see, I practically ran out of all the money we had put in the company. I mean, it has come close to literally zero balance.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can't, that's why it is why it is worth carrying on this kind of conversation is because these are very practical questions, and everyone will have their own story of life and their own
Right.
experiences. And from there, how do we really
How do we integrate spirituality with the actual practical side of life is the question.
right? Actually, spirituality should be the part of life.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even
Right,
just
but what I'm saying
complicated.
is trying to integrate what the Yoga Sutras tell you, right? Your Swadharma and this and that. So practicality where you need to pay bills, you need to earn money to pay the bills. You have expectations from family members. So trying to get these things together in such a way so that you can also fulfill your Swadharma. That's the question. How would one go about doing that?
It is a very, I mean, I'm really glad that Bal Mukunji started this forum because this is a quantum jump in terms of in my opinion, because I have known Rajanji for last 4 or 5 years and I have interacted with him hours together, on different subjects. And in my opinion, he is a true yogi. I haven't really found someone with that amount of clarity in terms of what life is all about, what is the purpose of life, how do our this Yoga Sutra. See, I never knew that Yoga Sutra is, even till I still don't know that Yoga Sutras are that deep that they essentially define how you lead a life. I used to think Yoga Sutras are basically discussing about how to do the asanas and pranayamas and initially. So things of that nature. But life has a much bigger purpose. All of our lives have a much bigger purpose. And what happens is, because of materialism and capitalism, the capitalism is very divorced from spirituality. Naked, the naked capitalism is, pure capitalism as they call it, is really very divorced from the spirituality. So because of that, and we are, whether we like it or not, we happen to be in a country which is the birthplace of naked capitalism, is that it takes you away from the purpose of life unless you remain aware of it and you try to really listen to yourself and pay attention to it. And that is why because money becomes a central thing, that to do this thing you have to have money and this and that and that and that. Now, the small town I grew in India, I knew of people who hardly had anything, but they were gem of people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we are nothing compared to them as individuals. They didn't have money. Okay. And the amount of affection they showered, they were not even related to me. But, I came in contact with them because family connections or whatever, and the amount of compassion, affection, and this thing they have showered all through my life. And even when I visited from back here, whenever I used to visit and meet with them, every time I used to go and meet them, I remember very distinctly a couple of 3 individuals like that. So there are, but in this country, it becomes very, very difficult to try to lead a life like that, because the basic requirements cost you so much.
Yeah. Yes.
And so it is a very for example, Dr. Rajan leads a extremely simple life.
Right. Like you said, he's a true yogi, but we are not. We all of us are still striving to find our life's purpose. He has found it. And I mean, I don't know about you, Rameshji or Jagannath, but you know, we don't know. You would think that after a certain age, you have been working and life puts you in this circle of just, you know, growing up. You go through all these different stages of life where you, and by the time the kids, like, you know, you get married, they have children, then you have to educate the children. By the time your life is almost gone, where is the purpose of life? We are not yogis. So
that's why life becomes a rat race, you know, because of all these things. See, I have a reason to believe, I mean, I'm kind of divorcing from a subject over here, that I believe this COVID-19 is a reminder from cosmos.
I agree.
To the humanity that, guys, make your life simpler.
True.
You are making your life too complicated.
True. COVID-19 definitely
100%
made
agree.
us all take a step back
Yeah.
and
Right.
take stock of our life.
Actually, you know, I had predicted based on astrology that 2020 life is going to change. Because there was rise of this fascism, and I told a lot of my friends that I don't know how that's going to happen, but I know that after 2020, January 2020, there is going to be more meaningfulness in the life, and the fascism is going to go down. And the reason is because Shani is the planet of justice and fairness, and Shani is the true yogi. People who have the strong Shani are actually the true yogis. So there's even among spirituality, there is people who are Gyanis and then people who are true yogis, right? The difference between Dronacharya and Parashuram, right? So Dronacharya was a Gyani, but then Parashuram was another level yogi, right? So Shani is the planet of true spirituality, and Shani's purpose is to support people who have nobody else's support, because Saturn is a planet that's outermost, and it's dark and it's gloomy, and it's hiding so many rahasya within itself, and it's the last post to the cosmos from the solar system, right? And sun's energy is not going there. So,
sorry, I'm going to
let me
interrupt
finish
you.
it. If you want to leave, that's fine. Let me finish.
No. I'm just saying that this is a topic by itself that you have to now give us another, session on.
So Shani is coming back in his own sign. So Shani moves very slowly. Shani moves in every 2.5 years. Every 3 years he changes his sign. 2.5 years he changes his sign. So Shani takes 30 years to go around the sun. So this January 24th, Shani moved into his own sign, Makar Rashi, and he's going to be there for 3 years. And then he's going to move again into Aquarius Rashi, Kumbh Rashi. That's also Shani's Rashi. So both of these Rashis are ruled by Shani. And Shani is Karak for social justice. So somehow Shani had to deliver social justice. Circumstances played so many other parts, but if COVID-19 had not happened, something else would have happened. But somehow Shani would have delivered social justice and equity and meaningfulness in the world in these 5 years, 6 years.
But Shani is also supposed to be meting out justice, correct?
That is justice.
As in, but when you say social justice, no, as in like individual justice.
Yeah, karmic justice. Karma ka phal. Karmic justice. But ultimately, see, Shani is a savior of people who are disadvantaged, because Shani himself is disadvantaged. So he's ultimately Karak for poor people, for the needy, people who have bad health, right? And so ultimately, if he's supporting somebody who is downtrodden, somebody who is an underdog, somebody who needs uplifting, then automatically Shani is delivering that, right? So whatever problem somebody is facing, if they are facing that problem, but they have worked hard towards it, or they truly deserve to be held, then Shani will figure out some way to get them that help that they need.
So this thing about Sarasati and Hayya and all that.
Yeah, this is a misnomer. See, this has been created by materialistic Jyotishis who don't understand Shani. Right? Shani is the true spirituality, and this is exactly what Ramesh ji said, that COVID-19 has come to tell. It's a message from the cosmos to tell people to start living some meaningful life. So that is exactly the message Shani carries in the solar system, right? That stop living the life of excess, start living a meaningful life, a fair and a just life, right? And so, you know, Sadhe Sati jo aati hai is basically to bring people to the right path. So right now, the entire planet is going through Sadhe Sati.
Okay.
This
But
COVID-19 is basically the Sadhe Sati for the entire planet.
see, this is another subject on its own, because you see, I'm saying the reason COVID came, it reminded mankind to share good things, to you know. But then if you are already disadvantaged, right, and you share, which is great, but lekin साथ साथ जो लोग who's already downtrodden or doesn't have enough to fulfill their own needs,
Yeah.
वो कहाँ से करेंगे share?
They don't have to. So see, ultimately सबकी एक ड्यूटी है ना, वही वाली बात आ रही कि स्वधर्मा है, आप अपना स्वधर्म पूरा करिए. This whole economy is anyways transactional in nature. भाई मैं आपका कुछ काम करता हूं तो आप मुझे कुछ पैसे देते हो, मैंने आपको कुछ प्रोडक्ट बेचा तो आपने मुझे कुछ पैसे पे किए, मैंने आपको कोई सर्विस दी तो आपने रिटर्न में मुझे कुछ दिया, right? That money is the lubricant in the system, or it's a form of thank you for whatever we are doing for each other, and we put a monetary value to it. How many thank yous are you giving? How many dollars is how many thank yous you are giving for certain job being done? And there's perception value to this also, because everybody is stuck at different thing in their perception that who wants something so badly. But ultimately, जो गरीब है वो भी तो किसी का कोई काम कर रहा है. If you are doing your job fair and square, then you're fulfilling Shani's purpose. You don't have to do anything extra. You just have to do it with the pure heart, without the greed.
So Balmukund, Narayanji mentioned about, since it's an astrology thing, I'm just bringing it. Like 2nd and 10th are like important square.
All houses are important.
Yeah. And
all houses are important. They are all important in different ways. My favorite house is the house of Parakram.
Which is 6th?
Third house.
Oh yeah, bigger. Okay.
Third house is the house of Parakram. And I went through, as I was learning, I went through all houses and saying, okay, this house is nice. Oh, this is very important. This is very important. Now I've come to the conclusion that Parakram is the very important. Because whatever is the prarabdha you are getting today is actually Parakram of last life. So इस जीवन में ऐसे समझिए कि इस जीवन में जो मेरा स्वधर्म है, okay, वो काम तो मैंने किया, सो वो मेरा स्वधर्म था. बट बहुत कुछ मैंने और कुछ भी किया जो मेरा स्वधर्म नहीं था, और उसका कुछ वो मुझे फलित नहीं हुआ. बट दैट doesn't go wasted. That accumulated with the swadharma I did this in this life is accumulated into my next life as my prarabdha. Right? And you see it all the time, right? अगर मान लीजिए कि आपने किसी आप स्कूल में थे, आपने कुछ पढ़ाई की, तो किसी सब्जेक्ट का आपने कुछ एक्स्ट्रा पढ़ लिया, नेक्स्ट क्लास का पढ़ लिया इसी क्लास में, तो नेक्स्ट क्लास में जब आप गए तो आपको तो उसका हेल्प हो गया ना. you got help with that. You're like, oh, I don't have to study it again. That became prarabdha is what? Past momentum. You earned it earlier. So parakram never goes waste, even if it is not your swadharma.
So what if there is no planet in that? So
no, but there's a Rashi in there. So the lord of that Rashi, right? So if it's, let's say, Scorpio Rashi, so the lord of Scorpio Rashi is Mangal. So where is Mangal sitting? So there'll always be something that will define your parakram.
So then, जो Mangal है और Shani, is there like a hierarchy system there?
See, ये सारे planets जो हैं, वो भगवान विष्णु के एजेंट हैं. So they are agents of Bhagwan Vishnu, and Bhagwan Vishnu का purpose क्या है? Bhagwan Vishnu सृष्टि के survivor है, right? He has to survive the entire cosmos. So he is so basically Mata Shakti के ये 3 संतान, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, right? And Vishnu got the responsibility to run this cosmos. So he is managing all this cosmos and the cosmic flow. Okay? So these all these planets are the agents of Bhagwan Vishnu, and they are fulfilling the purpose of Bhagwan Vishnu in one way or the other, right? The most primary being Surya, right? So Surya is very important. Why? Because, and that's why they say Surya is your soul, Surya is your Atma, Surya is your confidence, right? Surya is your energy. Because बिना energy के तो कुछ होगा ही नहीं ना, right? अगर नहीं energy होगी तो हम बिस्तर में पड़े रहेंगे तो पराक्रम क्या करेंगे? कुछ नहीं, right? So the Surya is the ultimate of that, which is your charisma, your radiance, your energy, your ability to do things, your confidence, your ego. मैं कौन हूँ? मैं, who am I? And soul, what is your soul? That all that is Surya. So Surya is some purpose. These are all pratik. You know, in सभी planets का हमारे ऊपर influence है. Chandrama is our mind. That's also important, right? These all by themselves have the virtue of surviving somebody. Right? We can survive by our mind, by our intelligence, but we can also survive purely by our energy. We can also survive purely by our ability to serve other people, and that is Shani. We can survive also by Parakram, which is Mangal, and you just go and be a fighter and go and fight battle, right? So each of these planets, by their virtue, they are agents of Bhagwan Vishnu, and they can all help you survive. Right? But 2 major ones are Surya and Shani. And that's why there are 2 kinds of leadership that are most prominent in this world. One is the leadership of Surya, which is Narendra Modi kind of leadership. You go out there and you stand up with full confidence and you make a big fist and you tell everybody, the world, here we are, we have arrived, I have arrived, and let's do something. You go with full energy, with full confidence, and you face it, right? But that takes you so far. Right? When there is no energy, when resources are dry, what do? Then there is another style of leadership that is called servant leadership, Sevak leadership. Dr. Rajan does servant leadership, right? This, Manmohan Singh used to do servant leadership, where there is thanklessness. Right? Nobody is thankful for you, but you're serving the people. But there is true thankfulness that comes from people. Why? Because we are just instruments in the cosmic flow, and it is my duty to fulfill this thing, and I'll go and fulfill it. I don't have to make a big deal about it. I'll remain in the background. I'll bring other people to the forefront, and I'll let things be done. So there's a lot that Manmohan Singh also got achieved in his tenure, even though his tenure was mired with a lot of controversies. Narendra Modi's tenure was also mired with a lot of controversy. But that man had the ability of servant leadership, right? By where he himself did not, he dissolved his ego altogether. Manmohan Singh को इतनी बुरी बातें लोग कहते थे, मुंह पे गाली देते थे, पीठ पीछे गाली देते थे, मीडिया में रोज गाली देते थे, ठीक है? नरेंद्र मोदी को अगर कोई गाली दे दे तो अगले दिन वो जेल में होगा, right? But even then, Manmohan Singh had this knack of still doing it, and that style is called servant leadership, right? So now that servant leadership, interestingly, is also the leadership of that gives a lot of wealth. सूर्य से भी wealth मिलता है, लेकिन bottomless wealth जो है वो शनि से आता है, Saturn से, servant leadership से आता है. Why? Because Bhagwan Vishnu, anytime anybody becomes the survivor of the world, so then you become Vishnu, and then goddess Lakshmi has to be married to you. So she has no other place to go. She has to come and she has to come and be married to you. So because what happens if you are serving the world, if you're serving the people who cannot survive on their own, right? If somebody is helpless, somebody is stuck in a problem, somebody has bad health, somebody has some problems in life, when you are uplifting that people, because people with Surya, the energy of the Surya, they can take care of themselves. People with the energy of Mangal, they'll go fight the battles and win, right? But what about people who don't have the energy? People are sick, people who are dying of cancer. So anybody who is helping those people who cannot help themselves, they become the agent of Shani. They become Shani themselves, and they are the favored agents of Bhagwan Vishnu. And Bhagwan Vishnu himself, gets because you yourself become Bhagwan Vishnu, because you become the survivor of the world, and Lakshmi has to be married to you. So I have analyzed so many big shot people's Kundli, and what I have found is that Shani is the karak of all the bottomless wealth in all these people's lives. So Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, even Mark Zuckerberg, right? All these people have exalted Shani or Shani in a very important houses, and Shani has this bottomless conjunction. But that money, this is what Rameshji also says, that money that Shani gives, the bottomless wealth that Shani gives, is not for you to spend it on yourself. That money is project funding bestowed upon you to go help other people who you are helping. Because what happens, you do something good for other people, Shani is like, oh, you're doing my job. Here's more project funding. And then you do more, and then he says, here's more project funding. And and when you stop doing it and you start spending that money on yourself, then Shani takes that money away. It's like, you're wasting that money. You're not fulfilling my cause. So Lakshmi is Chanchal. Lakshmi has to go everywhere. But when you become Vishnu, then Lakshmi has no other place to go but to be with you.
So it brings us back to the question of Swadharma. कि अगर जैसे आपकी कुंडली में, you have the knowledge of the Kundli, but laymen don't, right? Laymen की पास तो है नहीं है. So then how do you define that Swadharma?
So आपने कुछ काम किया और ultimately Lakshmi आके पास आई. Lakshmi is not just money, it's success, right? So when you did something and it's working out for you, then you know that it's part of your Swadharma, right? When it stops working for you, then you know that it's not part of your Swadharma. That's how much it was destined for you, right? Because फिर उतनी project funding आपको मिल जाती है जितनी आपको. So ultimately, we are all wealthy people are basically custodians of that money that has been bestowed upon them to go spend it on people who are less fortunate. So they are just engines of wealth creation and engines of the cosmic flow as survivors of other people. And as long as they continue doing it, they keep being wealthy. And the biggest example is Bill Gates. He got super rich because of his past life karma and this life's hard work, which was his Swadharma, right? He built Microsoft and all that. He was 47 years old. And I don't think, I think you guys will remember, because the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, he got mired in so much controversy because unka sir fir gaya, and he was like, oh, I'm all invincible, and started crushing the competition and monopoly and all that. And there was this antitrust cases against him, and he had going through Senate hearings, and somebody spit on him, somebody threw cake on him and all that, right? All his charisma, all his everything was at low. Microsoft was about to go down very badly. And then he made a deal and he said, you know what, I will leave Microsoft. At the age of 47, he was fired from his own company. So as long as he was fulfilling Shani's purpose, he was okay. But the moment he stopped fulfilling Shani's purpose, Shani booted him out, and he had to leave the company he himself built as CEO. And then somebody told him, you got to do charity. And so Bill Gates started Gates Foundation, and full time, that's all he started doing. And this is what Bill Gates is doing with Gates Foundation is exactly what Shani wants. Shani doesn't want you to give money to the poor people. Shani wants you to be the engine of their survival. And so Bill Gates gives his time, gives his energy, and he truly wants to solve their problem with his time and skill set, right? And since he started doing it, his money has multiplied, his respect in the world has multiplied, and he's larger than Microsoft today, right? And this is the same thing that's playing out for right now for, for whom? Our good friend Mark Zuckerberg. And Mark Zuckerberg, in these 5-6 years, Shani khoob ragdenge inko, and then he will learn his lesson, or somehow he will chant Zuckerberg initiative will become the big thing, but it's coming for him. And there's another example, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos doesn't do charity, but Jeff Bezos is still getting money. How? Because he is doing service. Why? Because he has intense focus on customer service. It's a form of service, right? if he is getting all these goods and services to you for cheap and in the best quality, and his focus consistently is on service to the people, the reason for Amazon's success is its stellar customer service.
Lekin, Bezos is also very well known for crushing competition in the sense he
His
gets
mission
small
is clear.
companies.
His mission is clear. As long as he's providing that perfect customer service for people, the people who are buying it. See, the true wealth in this world is the goodwill of the people. Does he have the goodwill of the people?
Yes.
Not all, because I'll tell you why. Choti company, he takes them on, right? And then the same product, he starts manufacturing at a lower cost and selling it on Amazon.
Are people
So
losing
I
from
don't
this?
know about the goodwill.
Are people losing from this? Who are the layman people losing from this?
Layman, लेकिन जो entrepreneurs who trusted him,
Yeah.
who put their product on Amazon, they are being crushed.
See, there's a cosmic flow of, and he will be on the podium someday where he'll be questioned for all that. So when the time of reckoning comes, these questions will come again. But right now, his positives are way more than his negatives. हम सभी थोड़े बहुत तो हम सभी पापी हैं, हम सभी के अंदर vices हैं.
Of course,
Right?
for sure. हाँ.
हम सभी थोड़े से selfish हैं, हम सभी को केक थोड़ा सा अच्छा लगता है, हम extra खा लेना चाहते हैं.
True.
But as long as we exercise a little extra the next day, we are okay.
So you're saying it because he's in the customer service and he has the goodwill
Service.
of the
Service to
that's
the
how
people.
he's earning a
Service to the
Chinese.
people. Yes. And this guy is also truly about, so nobody is purely service to the people. Of course, everybody has Surya somewhere where it is contributing. Everybody has Shani somewhere where it is contributing, right? So it's never purely Shani or purely Mangal or purely Surya, but some aspects of life or some approach to life is being driven by your soul and your confidence and your charisma and your energy. Some aspects are being driven by your servant leadership and those things, right? And the sum total of that, it becomes you.
So is that how he had to part with $47 billion and get a new wife?
Exactly.
So, Valmukund, we were discussing about 10th house and Saturn. So what does it mean if Saturn comes in 10th house? Narayanji mentioned about 10th house, right? And then
10th house Saturn is somebody who is always going to do public service. He's going to be a civil servant or a politician.
Okay.
Politician is become a dirty word, but actually politician is doing public service. He is not taking as much salary and he is in the service to the people. So politician is 10th house Shani is a politician. 10th house Shani is anybody who does public service. Civil servants are seen from 10th house Shani. And 10th house Shani is also a technical person. But ultimately, the Karma Kshetra is all about serving the people.
he mentioned about 10th and then you discussed in detail about Shani. So I match both of them. So that's why I just
Yeah,
so 10th house, so that's why.
Right. You have Shani in 10th house, right? So service to the, but you also have Mangal in the 10th house. So your Swadharma, I've seen your Kundli. Your Kundli is very interesting.
No, Mangal in not in 10th.
You have Shani Mangal in 10th house. I know that.
No.
I have so I can open your Kundli right now and I can share the screen, but I can tell you right away, your first house is Ketu, your Lagnesh is Guru, right? Guru is sitting in 11th house.
That's right.
Okay, which is the Dhanka Bhav, and it is the outcome of your hard work. Okay, and then Surya and Rahu are sitting in your 7th house. That is your sthan of marriage, and that is the sthan of Vivah sthan. I shouldn't be discussing your Kundli. I'm sorry. But you have Shani Mangal. You have Shani Mangal in 10th house. And Shani gives you this service to the people. And Mangal wants to conquer. Right? I have Shani Mangal too. I have Shani Mangal first house. And Shani Mangal is a very intense conjunction. You want to conquer also. You want to lead from the front. So it's a Mangal is a Senapati. And Shani is a servant. So the only way it works out is you have to be a Senapati in the service of the people. So that means you have to be crusader in the service of people. So who is a crusader in the service of people? Dr. Rajan is crusader in service of people.
Yes.
He has started an organization. He's leading that organization. He's doing it with all his energy. He's doing it like a fight. But ultimately, he's doing it as a public service. That's that's what your Karma Kshetra is.
Yeah, I think moon is in 9th, I guess, not the 10th.
So you have Gaj Kesari Yoga in moon is in 9th.
Yeah, moon 9th.
I'm talking about Jupiter, Guru.
Guru is in
Your
11th.
Guru is in 11th. Yeah. Ketu is in Ketu is in first house. So Ketu first house people are very lucky people because they did all the hard work in the last life. This life they're chill. They're like, I don't want any I don't have any extra ambitions.
It's actually true.
So I looked at your kundli and I said, Dr. Rajan, you found your perfect chela for you to carry your spiritual legacy.
I'm not sure, but whatever you told, lucky, that I agree. Because he thinks it just came to me without any.
Yeah. Ketu first house people are lucky people.
But yeah, many things it just came.
So
Even and all this group, everything. Yeah,
so
by coincidence.
So you were supposed to get spiritual legacy. You are a innately spiritual person, right? You are a born spiritual person. Even as a kid, even before joining Dr. Rajan, you had your own spiritual insights about things. You would have said things, or you had knowledge of scriptures, or you would have said things which are written in scriptures, but you would have said it as if it's common sense to you.
Yeah, but the meeting Narayanji was a big change actually. It's life-changing event.
That was when your Swadharma came into picture. I had to get sick to meet Dr. Rajan. You met Dr. Rajan in your full health.
Yeah, actually I was going to Shiva Vishnu temple to learn Bhagavad Gita, and then that was the reason. And then I found that there is yoga class also. Then I thought, okay, let me try. My friend told there is yoga class also. Why don't you attend? Then I started attending, and then
I am surprised that we have 11 people in this conversation still. Dawn Gill is still listening. Dawn, you're also an astrologer.
I think she's driving.
Yes, I am driving, and I apologize. But when I realized it's okay for me to show my picture, I did. But otherwise, it would be so distracting. So yes, I'm a Vedic astrology. But a student, we're always learning something.
We're always
but
learning
But I
something.
so find myself right in the middle of this conversation. And the divine has actually called me to have a conversation with Balmukhan, not today and not in public and not in this setting. So, but yes, we are all there. And I just am so delighted to meet all of you because, it's hard to find, especially as a person born in Alabama here in the USA, but it's hard to find people that are like me, but all of you are like me, and I'm so delighted. So yes, in my past life, I was born in India, and so we can talk about that another time.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the stuff I said about Shani and Surya and servant leadership and all that?
Oh,
Agent
no,
sufficient.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so and even to your point about your prediction for 2020 and what was going to happen. So actually back in 1999, that prediction was made, and I have documented evidence of it from some leading astrologers around the world, Vedic astrologers around the world. But what happened is some of it was off point and they missed it by 1 year. So yes, this has been coming for some time.
Actually, there's a Jain uncle that had predicted this happening in 2020. I came across this article in 2019 that it was going to be this rough, and it's exactly going what he's saying.
And I had said I had made one more prediction. I had said that Jeff Bezos will make shitload of money starting 2020. And this friend of mine, he's a Harvard Business School alum. And this, I reminded him this conversation in April. So we had this conversation in April, and I said, he was like, dude, this is COVID-19 going, what are you talking about? This is not happening. I said, wait for it. Shani is going to be there for 3 years. And Jeff Bezos is going to get filthy rich, and we'll see. And it did happen. Now, so you see, he's like what 170 billion or something, and he's gonna grow. And you know why it's happening? Because he has Shani Mangal, and where it's in the own sign of Shani, right? So this guy is exactly 60 right now, around 60, and is Shani Mangal is sitting. So Mangal gets exalted in the house of in the Rashi of Shani. So Mangal is exalted, Shani is in his own sign, and that Shani Mangal is sitting in the house of wealth, second house. So, and that's why I said that this guy is gonna get super rich in 2020. So it's all this is happening, but that's okay. The predictive astrology is not the important thing. Finding Swadharma through astrology is the more important thing.
That's right. Amazing. We've just spent a whole hour and we still don't know our Swadharma.
It's been an incredible conversation.
It is amazing. It is.
It is
I'm
amazing.
glad we had this conversation. We should have more of these. It's
All right.
fascinating.
We're more on astrology to wider group now. Yeah, we 12 are there, but should
So 5:30 to 7 we should have yoga conversation, and then 8 o'clock 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock we should have astrology conversation.
yeah. Once a week we should stay back for 1 hour, and then we can have.
No, and not only astrology. I think, Ramesh, Uncle Brutada, he kind of gave so much insight. I mean, it's amazing to get all this insight from people who have already, there's a lot of thought and who know what they're talking about. So
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. There's, okay.
No, I was telling Jaganji should also share his.
Yeah, Jagan Uncle, you should actually talk to Jagan Uncle. He's also a mind load of information.
All I know is that I need to make money first, and after that we'll discuss further.
See, for example, no, Jaganji is doing something. He is making money, not for himself. He's making money
Yes.
for the Anath Ashram.
To share, exactly. And he's
Right?
sharing.
And
Yes.
so he is also fulfilling the purpose of Shani. अब मैं जगन जी की कुंडली कभी बनाना चाहता हूँ.
अभी डेट ऑफ बर्थ भेजता हूँ.
अब डेट ऑफ बर्थ, टाइम ऑफ बर्थ भेजिए, और मुझे लगता है कि आपके शनि जो है 8th हाउस में है. Your Shani is in 8th house because that's why he's going to give you Dirghayu, and Shani in 8th house has his third drishti on the Karm Kshetra, and that's why you are still working.
He has had a lot of time to help me out.
Yeah. So you are fulfilling the purpose of Shani basically.
Very good indeed.
And the purpose of Surya and purpose of Vishnu. So Lakshmi is going to be married to you anyways. This is so interesting. This is such a simple concept that if you really want to be rich, you want Lakshmi to be married to you, just be Vishnu.
I only have 18 years to do all that work. After that.
So just be a survivor of the universe, survivor of the planet.
Right.
And Lakshmi will have nowhere else to go but to be married to you. Lakshmi
Well,
can't leave you. This is such a simple philosophy, right? Right, Srijit? You agree? It's like the simplest thing in the world to explain to everybody. And it's true, it works.
Well, on this Diwali, I'm going to light the whole house lamps in the rooms and wait for Lakshmi to appear.
Absolutely.
Very good. Don, where are you driving? There is a lot of light there.
So
No, I
I
think
am
so.
driving 2,150 miles from Pagosa Springs, Colorado to Tampa, Florida.
Oh my
And
God.
right now I'm just coming into Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh my God, you are a brave soul. You are.
And I'm driving a 26-foot Penske truck, a very large truck.
Oh my God.
She is indeed brave.
Yeah, there's so much
A very large truck.
A way large truck, but I've been doing anyway. Yeah, so I have about a lot of miles, 80,000 miles doing this sort of thing.
And you are
That's
in
great.
yoga.
Wonderful. Well, safe trip,
All right.
Dawn.
Yep,
Thank
drive
you.
safe.
And,
Thank you.
Namaste, see you all tomorrow.
Right.
Great talking to everyone.
Avneji,
Thank-
when you
Ji.
said see you tomorrow, the typical British answer is not if I see you before. I lived in England too long.
Okay. All right. Chaliye,
all right,
namaste.
everybody.
Namaste.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is
Namaste
still going
to
live
all.
on YouTube. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, whoever want to see it. Yeah.